Hi, I'm Tom.
I'm Matty.
And I'm Lewis.
This is the Wigan Way, Wigan's favourite rugby league podcast.
He'll put you in his trap 'cause he's a union man. He's got it all figured out. He won't care what you think 'cause he's a northern man. He's allowed to speak his mind. His mind.
The Wigan Way podcast is brought to you by Cherry and White Pins, a local Wigan Warriors themed pin badge company with a variety of Wigan ranges. You can get free shipping on all orders when you use the code THEWIGANWAY, that's The Wigan Way, all in capitals, at checkout. Thanks to them for supporting the show.
So this week we are back after another win. There's one game left now in the regular season. We had the visit of Leeds in a very tough, a typically tough game. That we actually ran away with 38 points to 0. But before we go into it and go into the details of that game, join with Matty and Lewis. How are you doing, lads?
Yeah, all good, mate, all good. We'll get on to it. I thought rugby league was unfortunately, a bit boring this weekend. I think we got a lot of blowout scorelines, didn't we? But we'll review them and we'll go through them each and talk about how they've done and review some seasons and things like that.
Yeah, glad to have beaten Leeds. We owed them one, didn't we? So it's always good when you beat Leeds, one of our rivals, and keep them out of the playoffs.
Well, I think your first point's right there. We owed them that. When they beat us at their place, it felt like they were taking the mick a little bit. I don't know what it was. There was something about that game that just felt like they were taking the mick. And
That's how we're only lost in 2 months, and it was the end of the world when it happened, wasn't it?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. So shall we dive into this game?
Yeah.
14 points to 0 at half time, 38-0, the full time score. Biggest thing, first of all, is obviously the 0 on the score sheet.
Yeah.
I don't think we were asked many
Did it
questions.
look like
They
it was
didn't
going to
look
get
like
threatened?
it.
No, it didn't,
No.
did it?
Did not look like it's going in about 20 minutes where they started to have a little bit of territory and actually get into our half. And I think it was probably like on the 10-minute mark, maybe about 10 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But besides that 20 minutes, I couldn't think of a time
I think
when
20 minutes is generous.
the
so isn't it?
possibly, yeah,
It's less
possibly
than that.
is.
I think they could still be playing now on Monday night and they still wouldn't have scored.
We'll review Wigan, but I was disappointed with Leeds. We'll probably talk about that after
Yeah,
we've done Wigan.
so,
But yeah, I was very disappointed with Leeds.
I will say, even in that 15 minutes, though, was you ever concerned that we would concede? I didn't have the feeling that we were under immense pressure, even though they had territory. I didn't think they were asking questions that we were just scrambling to survive. We sort of...
And we created 3 or 4 chances that we didn't take in the first
Yeah.
half, even. So
It certainly could have been 26, 30 points to 0
at least.
in
At
that
least.
first half.
yeah.
And they might be a little bit disappointed that they didn't execute some of them plays.
As long as you're creating the chances at this stage, I think you've got to be happy. And we created enough chances to score, 6 or 7 tries in this game total. So, yeah.
So, before we go into the details, 2 tries for Bevan French, Adam Kieran, Miskey, Ellis, Jake Wardle and Liam Marshall.
Yeah.
Kieran kicked 5 from 7, it was. A good all-round performance, and we will talk about individual players later on. But shall we go through the tries?
Yeah.
You two can start off here because I missed the first 2 tries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was,
you
it
did.
A bit late getting to the ground.
I was
wasn't
late
it?
into the ground. I was otherwise engaged in Liverpool till about 20 past 7 and got there just, sprinted from my car parking spot to the game. I thought it might just be an arm wrestle for 15 minutes. I thought I'd get away with it, but
I got off to a good start.
I was watching it on my phone and I saw the Jake Wardle try. And by the time he sent it to the screen, I was close to the ground.
Yeah.
I was going past Robin Park and I could hear the announcer say that it had been given. So I thought, well, I can put my phone away because it's been given. I don't need to check the video ref. And then I can hear this cheering again. And I'm thinking, please be for us, please be for us. And I can see the East stand. When you go up to the stadium from like the West section.
Yeah.
And you can see through that corner. You can see the scoreboard which said 4-0. And you can see
The very top of the East
the
stand.
top of the East stand, and I could see him going mad. So I was like, "Oh, we scored again."
Yeah.
And then when I came round the South stand, it was on the big telly. In that room where you.
Did you stop and stand and watch
I
it on the
looked,
screen?
I had a quick watch of the French try on there, And then I can hear a cheer again, which was for him kicking out on the full.
Yeah.
But by the time I got to the game, it was 10-0.
Well, it's probably important to mention, but before the Jake Wardle try, we had a very good opportunity to score in the second minute, which we messed up. That was one of the tries that we talked about messing up. And then Jake Wardle scores before the 5-minute mark. Always a good sign when you score that early on. Harry Smith kicking behind. Liam Marshall does incredibly well to keep the ball alive. And Jake Wardle probably scored a try that we traditionally see wingers do.
Some finish this.
It was a good finish.
First sense, but it doesn't look simple, but it looks simpler than it is. To be in motion, switch the ball from one hand to the other, switch it, I think, from his left to his right. Then he's got to jump and get his feet in the air and then finish it off in the corner. And all that is done in literally, 2 seconds?
Yeah.
That is some skill,
That's the thing with the Wardle. The way Marshall throws it back, it's actually behind him. And he catches it like left-hand side to switch and get it into his right hand to dive in the corner. Like, you just shouldn't be able to do that.
Not
so
when you've
quick.
literally got centimetres of space to play.
No, he
didn't.
he didn't have much space to do.
Then he's got to dive and put the ball on the line.
But this is the thing, though. Like when we see them tries, normally from wingers, you can sort of see a build-up and you're going, he's going to have a go in the corner.
They're catching the ball at a comfortable height, moving forwards.
And you know you're setting up for it.
Whereas here, he doesn't know when the ball's going to come, how high it's going to come. It comes end up behind him. He doesn't even know if Marshall's going to try and flick it back.
Yeah.
He has to be prepared to tackle the winger if he gets the ball.
Yeah.
So there's so much going against him in this.
To still score.
Brilliant finish.
Obviously, last blade of grass.
I do think that Leeds should have dealt with this better, though.
Yeah.
Even once Marshall flicks it back in, there should have been more bodies around the ball.
Yeah,
It shouldn't have been so
shoots
easy
in the
for
frame.
Momorowski. It shouldn't have been so easy for Wardle. When Momorowski's there, he should have been on top of Wardle. There's just no intensity to get back.
Yeah, you've got to anticipate that danger, haven't you?
Yeah. As you said, very quickly, Matty Wigan scored again in the
Well, it must have been the same.
seventh minute.
If I was that close to the stadium.
Yeah, it was the 7th minute, so it was literally the set after. Good carry from Junior on the fourth tackle, left 3 or 4 men scrambling, and then Cade Ellis, big game. Cade stepped up
Straight through the middle.
Yeah,
He didn't go straight through. He didn't even miss any tackles. He just went straight
I think it
through.
was an attempted tackle.
This
That's
is-
the
this is
thing.
poor
I don't
from
think it counts
Oleski.
as a missed tackle when they don't even attempt one.
If you go from trying to put a shot on Thompson,
yeah.
because it looked like he was going to get the ball.
It was a poor read from Oleski. This, I think he comes in. Is it Thompson?
One of them
He
tries
comes
to
in
hit
off-
Thompson, yeah.
And Ellis is just, when teams just put a dummy runner in at the back of the ruck and then they play a little bit wider. It's such a common play. This, it just looked like Wigan were taking one in. Like, for Cade Ellis to walk through, it just should not happen.
Not on a bad Arthur side.
No.
Bad Arthur is not,
We'll be annoyed with that one.
The set after conceding.
experienced coach pays a lot of attention to details. This would just be something where, you don't even think you'd have to coach this. This is just get off your line and keep on and make tackles. You defend drives. For a drive, just run straight through.
But they've not even missed the tackle, have they? They've not
Yeah,
even
tackle.
fallen off him. They've not even
But
attempted one.
They
How
just
do you not
created
get
the
it?
gap.
How do you get a gap so big when you're in a defensive line?
No. By just trying to solve a problem.
Trying
It's
to be a
not them.
hero, trying to put a shot
Trying
on.
to put a massive shot on, make someone drop a ball. When in reality, if they defend that, we're going to put in a kick in and they're getting the ball back anyway. Felt bad for Luke Thompson here. He was sprinting up on the
He
outside.
would have scored.
He was sprinting up. He wanted a try.
Liebman would have scored as well on the inside.
And then Bevan just nonchalant, jogs up, beats Thompson and...
This is the right thing, though. Give it to Bevan.
Yeah.
He's your try scorer. Well, he's one of your try scorers. Give him the ball. Get another one on the stats for him.
Yeah.
Not many tries that have had easy for Bevan. He doesn't usually score easy ones like that. But
No. As you said before, Leeds had a bit of a period where they got back in the game here. Obviously, they kicked the ball out on the full and that completed a bad 4 or 5 minute, bad opening 10 minutes for them. But they did get back into the game a little bit and had a little bit of territory.
They defended that. When they kicked it out on the full, they defended that set where we could have scored.
We started completing some as well, and it just went into a bit of, like you say, getting into that arm wrestle and kicking, and managed to just build a bit of territory and just get us up the field a little bit further, get us off the defensive line for, 15 minutes, would you say?
Yeah, probably.
37th minute, we can get back on the score sheet. a very typical Wigan try, this.
I feel like we needed this one.
Yeah, just another one, just to put a little bit of comfort. You know, if you're at 10-0 at half time, Leeds could come out, score, and then you never know what's going to happen. But this was a very, very typical Wigan try. French at first receiver, to Smith to Field, who finds Wardle running at the inside shoulder of David Foster-Tua. Can't do much, and he flicks the ball out to Marshy, who scores in the corner again.
This was Wardle's 19th try assist of the season, and Marshall scored 31. I wonder how many of them were. I bet most of them were as try assists were from Wardle to Marshall.
Well, his other set of try assists are making a break and passing back on the inside, aren't they, to French or Field?
Yeah, but it feels like he's not done as much of that this year. He's gone outside more.
That's probably worth looking out, that.
I'm not bothering.
Took it to 14 points to 0. Again, scoring the last blade of grass, make it nice and easy for Adam Kieran to have an attempt at kicking.
Did you hear the rumblings when you missed those 2 kicks? Did they start rumbling around you?
Yeah.
Oh, if Harry should have kicked him.
Smith should have kicked it. Funny how when they missed the person should have.
Yeah, exactly.
Smith missed, gave Kieran. I wanted to switch over and then Smith miss and see what the people's solution is then.
People's solutions would have been getting
Ryan Armstrong team.
Sign Chris Hankinson back so he can kick goals.
Yeah.
What was it you said? You've got 2 good quarterbacks, you've got no good quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Same thing, innit?
Yeah. Goal kickers. We have the 2 good goal kickers, but Adam's better. So Adam can kick them. I'm not bothered if he misses from the touchline when Marshall scores. I'm not bothered.
That's the thing, that Marshall try in a big game, a knockout game, I would hope he would try and get in field a little bit more. And I just think, in a game like this, if you're missing from the touchline, it's not.
Miss from the touchline, whatever. You miss them from the touchline, that's not what, people were having to go to Smith for. It's the ones in field that you miss.
Yeah. So, Wigan kick off. 4 minutes in, get a penalty. Off the back of that, Junior December takes a good carry. And then Cade Ellis. He's a favourite of the Wigan Way podcast, isn't he?
Yes, he is, yes.
He is so underrated.
Well, I think actually people started to come around on that. People are starting to see how good he is, and that's good for us. We've been banging the Cade Ellis drum for a while now, and that's good for him. Like, he is incredible, and big games he's incredible, especially
80-minute Cade.
And he didn't do 80 minutes in this game, but if it was a big game, I bet he would have done.
Yeah, very similar to the break he made this try. Dupree on a little bit of a short run, like a bit of a dummy run at the ruck, pass out the back, and again I think he goes in just with a hand touching him. Like, you can't concede tries. That was the second tackle after the penalty.
Soft.
They've not put a play on.
No, it was too easy, wasn't it? I think they said it was obstruction with Tyler Dupree, but really,
No,
I think if anybody obstructed, it was the ref.
Soft.
You've got to defend this better.
definitely.
You've also got to not give that penalty away and invite pressure onto your line. That's the other thing you've got to do.
Definitely. Nothing for the next 10 or so minutes, and Wigan score on the 60th minute. 2 big passes. One from, I think it was Jake Wardle to Smith, and Smith out to French. Takes us from attacking basically on the left wing to attacking the right-hand side. It's so good when you can make them big passes like that effectively. French does what he does, gets on the outside of his man, and then just lays a perfect kick in behind for a Basmiski. Picks it up, runs under the sticks.
This was brilliant, this. Brilliant kick. It's just brilliant play all round. Yeah. It's a brilliant kick. He just waits to the perfect moment. He gets it, skips outside, Frawley, waits to the perfect moment when the outside men jam in and puts the kick in behind. It's perfect.
It's as you would plan, really. You couldn't ask for it any better way. Wigan convert that and go to 26 points to 0. And then we get a bit of a similar shape. Lehman out, then he gets the French. Harry Smith with the kick. Do you think it gets a touch off Harry Newman into Kieran's arms?
I think it looks like, it
like
gets a touch, doesn't it? It looks like it changes direction a little bit, the ball on there.
I was adamant at the ground it had got a touch, but when I watch it back on the replays, I'm not certain.
I don't really know.
But Kieran it wrong foots the fullback, which is why I thought it was off Newman's hand. The young fullback, he didn't get much help. Kieran goes under the sticks, making his kick easier. It's interesting how goal kickers always try and get round under the sticks, isn't it? That takes it 30.
You have to convert your own.
Takes it to 32 points to 0 at the 70-minute mark. Next up,
This is my favourite try. This.
Yeah,
It's got to be a
delicious,
favourite
isn't it?
try, cheeky chip. But I actually said just before this, are we trying things here? Like, it seems daft to do this at home against Leeds, but we were 32 in front. We're trying things.
Yeah.
We tried something to play before.
We tried a little bit of a scrum play.
We tried an unusual scrum play, and then our bodies were in motion, and then we just tried this cheeky chip, and then the two Leeds players crashing into each other because Bevan's too fast. It just
both of them have the start on him.
Mhm.
The fact that he gets through and then they crash into each other, like, you wouldn't be surprised if they'd have crashed into French and French had fallen or whatever. But he makes 2-3 yards on them at ease. Obviously scores under the sticks.
It's brilliant. And like you said to me, the ball sits up nicely for him, but when you're the fastest player on the pitch, the ball does seem to sit up nicely for you, doesn't it?
Yeah. And he times his runs.
And when you time your run properly, the ball does sit up
And
nicely.
it's not the first time this has been done.
No,
you
it's
know,
not
I mean,
lucky.
you go back to the World Club Challenge off the scrum.
Yep.
Ben moved on, it was disallowed in the end, that try. Not to break everyone's hearts remembering that, but do you know what I mean? Like, when you get used to that, you get used to reading the ball and how it's going to go and knowing when it's going to bounce up. That just comes from experience.
And this is not a
This
lucky
kind of
bounce. This is timed. This is not a lucky bounce.
play. Mate, you're unlucky in this game.
Exactly. Yeah.
No, you mentioned it there, and I want to mention it. Did feel like Wigan were putting a few players on. We talked about it a while back, just adding different things to the playbook, and you must imagine as an opposition, and you do your defensive work and you do your videos of what to expect. How do you analyse Wigan's attack if you're in opposition?
Well, with this spine, obviously, this spine is the one that's going to take us home now without Brad O'Neill. But let's say we've got our spine.
Yeah.
It's only the second game back with that spine since the cup final. So you could say, well, we can plan for what they're going to do, but these guys have not played very much with each other.
No.
They'd be still figuring it out.
But my point is we've all seen the playbooks and the different things that they can do through the last 2-3 seasons, the start of this one. There are so many different players, and you mentioned a scrum play. There was one scrum the other week where we lined up with no one on one side of the field. We took a centre play scrum and had no one lined up on one side. Today we had in this game we had Misty on the right hand side by himself, and as the scrum's being played, Smith wraps around, Field wraps around, and you've got a 3-on-2, and we didn't execute either of them.
No.
But you must be looking as a defensive team going, where are we going? What do we do? We've seen times this year where we pulled Junior in December out of the scrum, and Harry Smith is stood there pointing where he wants him to run at the centre.
Yeah.
At some point, December runs over someone, or Field out the back. There's so many different options that we can have, especially from set plays, that how do you analyse it? How do you prepare for it? I got this feeling during the game that we were setting it up and we were just flexing a little bit to show that, yeah, we're still going to play.
I'm surprised we flexed on this game. I know you two mentioned that we might want to flex on this game. I thought we might save it a week, but yeah, I'm glad we did now.
I just think...
I didn't think Leeds were the right opposition, but actually it turned out they were.
Without getting into the predictions, I think there'll be a little bit of this week.
Maybe
Show
we'll
a
do it
couple of
again.
plays.
It's just put some shots on, I think.
Yeah.
I like it. I liked a lot of what Wigan did this game. I think we've got to talk about the other side of the coin. We've got to talk about Leeds. For the fans that travelled over, was it 1,500 Leeds fans, I think, in the North Stand that travelled with us.
There's a lot of Wigan fans in that
I
stand.
know,
as
that
well.
was a bit weird, considering the East wasn't full.
Yeah.
But for those fans, Leeds supporters, who've got a glimmer of hope for the playoffs, they've had some good results at the Brick in the past.
I'd be so angry with that performance.
Thinking, let's put a decent shift in and see if we can catch Wigan off guard. And then
the first 10 minutes just to let those two tries in easily with poor effort, and then poor defensive line, and to then just offer nothing and just be so poor.
They didn't look like a team contesting for the top six.
I was just going to say, if you were a Leeds fan after last weekend, you'd have watched Wigan and Hull KR batter each other, and then gone, we've just put points on Hull. We're flying.
We've had an easy game.
A
walkover, basically.
Let's go and beat Wigan, because they'll be tired and they'll be fatigued. And then Hull KR might already be thinking about winning the league leaders. So let's go and upset that party there.
Leeds do love
We could get 4 from 4 and make the playoffs. Having beat Wigan and Hull KR in the last 2 games, we could go on a run here. And then after 10 minutes, you sat there going, if I was a Leeds fan, I don't want to make the playoffs. Because if we can put a performance out like that, we're going to get battered. It could be embarrassing. That was so embarrassing.
Would you be embarrassed if you were a Leeds supporter and you travelled to that? Yeah.
After that performance? Do you remember when we went to Leeds and lost about 2 years ago?
Yes.
Yeah. How bad we felt in the car on the way home.
Yeah. Well, you had stepped in dog poo, so you felt a bit worse
Yeah.
than me.
Yeah.
But I had to smell it.
Yeah. We had to drive from Leeds for the windows down. But I would feel like that, if not worse. The opposite way here.
Because it's killed your season.
It's killed your season. At least Wigan had time to bounce back from it.
It's been really strange with Leeds this year, because they've kind of they've got up for certain games, haven't they?
Yeah. But how can you not get up for this
They
game?
were so
This is what
good
I mean,
against us.
this is-
They were so good against us.
That's what I mean.
We spoke about us not being great that day, and it was, the world was caving in that day, but Leeds were incredible, and that hardly gets a mention.
That's what I mean. They
Everything
did
went
well,
well.
and obviously, and not only sort of externally, but obviously the game, the tribute to Rob. They played absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
And obviously, I know
brilliant,
they, of course, was going to play amazing that day.
But they had a few
going on.
good results when half
But
came
then-
in as well.
That's what I mean. So Leeds fans must be sat there going, "Hold on, when we're on here, we could upset anybody on our day," but then you just don't turn up.
No,
So it's never a
really
possibility
frustrating.
to
It's gotta be
upset
frustrating.
people. It must be frustrating for the fans.
They've missed the playoffs.
Well, yeah. I mean, there was the talk of how much money was spent. They had to.
I know
They had
Miller.
to get top six.
I know Miller didn't play this game,
No.
but Lockie Miller, Brodie Croft, Matt Frawley, Andy Ackers, have they missed any length of time? Really? And I know Newman's had spell on the sidelines, and he's a key player for them.
Newman, yeah, he's a good player.
Momirovski's been a bit injured, and Foster Tua.
Yeah, but these are...
But that's Spurs.
Even when Frawley's been out, I don't think it's been injury. I think it's because they wanted to play Jackson for
Jackson Field as well, didn't they?
Like,
I don't think he was injured.
I think Frawley came back in when Arthur got the job, didn't he?
Yeah. And I understand that. A new coach coming in, you want your senior head, you're organising
And he
half
played
back.
alright Frawley for a month or two after that. I do think that, and obviously the narrative is they spent all that money on Croft and Ackers luring them away from Salford, and Salford are going to finish 4th or 5th, and Leeds are going to miss the playoffs. And that can't be a good look for Leeds. It can't be. They spent so much money.
Do you think Brad Arthur's going to stay without... Obviously, he's staying now.
He'll
He's
do 12
doing the
months.
year
I think
round.
he'll only do 12 months.
But do you think he would have agreed to do this 12 months if he wasn't guaranteed to bring in some players that he wanted?
I don't know,
He must-
honestly.
Because we're still looking at this Leeds squad thinking they need 5-6 players.
And they need to replace Reece Martin.
And they need to replace Reece Martin, their best player. Because he is.
He's one of the best players, definitely. It's interesting. It's going to
So
be
is
interesting.
Arthur on to stay on at least
For next
season?
year, yeah.
For next year, yeah.
But then the thinking is he's going to be the coach for the new team when it comes. And
Brought in an RL, yeah.
In
he
2026,
He might
isn't
do a year setting up like Wayne Bennett did in 2026. So that would mean he would only do 12 months more at Leeds.
But if they're going to say, listen, Brad,
I can't see him going, right, well, I'm sticking at Leeds because this is the place for me, when they turn out performances like that for you. When you've got them back into the fight for the 6.
the other thing I'd say is if you were a Leeds player, you'd be going, we might play well and not make the 6. Wigan could beat us.
Yeah, Wigan and Hull KR could beat them, even if they play alright.
But I want to be in Brad Arthur's plans next year. Like them young lads, the young fullback, I didn't think he did too poorly. He put his effort
Or off the edge.
yeah.
I was impressed with the young winger, Riley Lum. I thought he made some big carries. Put a good effort
Did
in.
alright. They were stood up and were counted. I think those are young players, but
But if you were some of them older heads in there, surely Brad Arthur doesn't want. What? You're not in his plans next year.
The only one,
Leeds are going to have to get rid of 5 players.
the only one who came away from that game for me with credit in my bank at least was James McDonnell.
Yeah.
Because I think at least he defended quite well.
Yeah.
And at least he put himself about. And I'm thinking, this is Leeds Rhinos. That shouldn't be the bare minimum. But that should be the bare minimum, I should say. Everyone should be doing that.
You look through the side and you know Newman's going to be in next year. Like,
Oh, Newman's a good player. Unless he gets bought by somebody else. You're going to be in.
Leeds are going to have him. Ash Hanley's going to be in.
Hanley will be in. He's a good player.
Brodie Croft.
yeah.
But they're going to have to keep Lockie Miller. They're going to have to keep Matt Frawley.
Yeah.
They're going to have to keep Andy Ackers, Jared O'Connor. Because they've set the team up to be around them.
On paper, though, these are not bad players.
Cam Smith at 13. He's on a long contract. He's club captain.
Yeah.
I
I didn't think he had a great game.
think they need 2 more props, minimum.
I'm disappointed with Oleski's regression. I've certainly said on this podcast before how much of a fan I am of Oleski. I don't know if he's not had the best year with health-wise as with injuries, but I was hoping he would kick on this year and make a spot. You know, in England, one of England's best front rowers. He's just not done, has he?
But there's not improving. But there's so many basic errors.
Yeah.
Like that Cade Ellis break that led to the French scoring.
Oleski's fault.
And he's just come flying in on Havard, I think it is, to try and solve a problem that's not even there.
They're all the Sam Lissoni dice early.
Yeah.
And we kept Paddy Mago. It's pretty similar roles that they play. So they sent Lissoni onto the field very early, and I was thinking, I'm glad we don't have to send Mago on that early.
Do you not think, though, this is the conversation we've had? Wigan have the Mago role alongside Tyler Dupree and Liam Bird. What other prop did they have on the bench? They had Bentley on the bench who played in the middle.
Bentley came off the bench.
Jared O'Connor went and played at 13 for a bit when they took Cam Smith off for 20 minutes.
Oh, who else came off the bench? Sangare, did he play?
No, Sangare started with Oleski. Donaldson.
Oh, Donaldson, yeah. He's not the biggest prop, is he, Donaldson?
They're both second rowers, Bentley and Donaldson.
I think Donaldson has played prop a lot, but he's not the biggest.
So, Sony's having to play as
2
a
minutes.
third prop.
Yeah.
But he can't do the minutes, he only did 20 odd.
Yeah. Lissoni needs to be a fifth prop.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They need at least 2, and I know they didn't have
Tom
Tom Holroyd, he's out injured.
He's a good player in that. I do like him.
But if one injury to one prop is causing you these issues...
They let some decent props go as well, haven't they?
Well, what's happened to Gunn?
They've had... Goodman. I don't know what's happened to him, actually. But he must be injured because he'd be playing, wouldn't he?
Yeah, because I thought that young lad, is it Tom Nicholson-Watson or something like that?
Oh, yeah. Watson. No, Tom Nicholson-Watson.
Watson. They really rate him. And he was 18th man.
But they've obviously let Tyler Dupree go, Minchella. They let what's the prop called? Ormond Royd.
Yeah.
You know that prop for Salford, he's a decent player, big lad. They let him go. You think, well, you're letting them go to keep somebody like Sangare. I just don't think he's as effective.
No.
I've got to ask, if he was available, why were they not in after Burgess?
Well, it might have been too expensive.
It might have been. But if he's too expensive to get as one of your 4 props, your cap's severely mismanaged. Because you don't even have a deep squad in any real position, do they? Remember at points they're bringing Sam Essay in on loan.
Yeah. They've been using the 2-week loan mark.
The winger who was at Warrington, what was his name?
Right.
He used to play for Wigan. His name's gone from me.
Oh, Matty Russell.
Matty Russell, he went on loan there.
He played for Wigan so long ago. That's a lot.
Yeah.
Last week past it. Matty Russell at Wigan.
Yeah.
He went Gold Coast.
How mismanaged is that cap?
Yeah, it has been. Yeah, it has been.
It seems to be where the lights as well. They've gone big on these X Factor positions. New fullback, new half-backs, new 9s. But it's like, again, we always talk about half-backs and it's hard playing behind the beaten pack.
Yeah, it's
And
not
besides,
great,
like you say, that McDonald in second row.
and even him, I wouldn't mind him if he was like, he was his solid player in the pack, or you were bringing him off bench. but he's by himself. Like he's solid, but he's
But
not.
him and Martin, should I say?
And Martin,
Martin,
they're losing
yeah.
Martin.
But they're losing Martin. It's like, actually, who else would you put in there? If you think about strong patch, you think about, the starting ones like Wigan's got. You think even to a team like Saints with Worms and Leeds and Knowles and Matautia and
they've got
you think to Warrington with Curry and
Vaughan,
but then you go to Leeds and there's not the same names.
I don't think it's a
not
pack.
the same calibre of players.
Catalan's pack. Hullcare have got that hard working pack where there's not really many big names, but they're solid.
There's also 5 or 6 of them.
5 or 6 solid. There's like 5 or 6 McDonald's there, isn't there?
Yeah.
Who are solid. That'll do you.
I tell you who Leeds could do with. I don't know they're moving him on, but Hullcare are moving on George King. I don't know if he's got a club.
I thought I heard Castleford.
Chris Hill. Just a prop to play games.
Chris Hill.
Who's 34, 35, younger, but that top age, and just knows how to make tackles. Remember when we brought Brad Singleton in? And the job that he did for us?
Brad Singleton, yeah. He did,
he just made tackles.
We had his last good years, didn't we?
Yeah.
Singleton.
But players of that style, so just to protect you young lads, if this Tom Nichols and Watts is going to be a good player, then from everything I've heard from Leeds is that he's going to be a good one.
Yeah, people seem pretty good, pretty high on him.
We had to bring a Brad Singleton in to protect our young pack, Liam Byrne. Yeah. They don't even have that.
No.
Their experience is Aletsky, and I don't think he's played 20 games. I really, really worry.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with Leeds.
I'll see next season.
I think
obviously it's unfortunate for them, but this season's done with.
I think we spoke about it last week, but it's another huge tick in the box of Wigan's pack.
Yeah.
We've gone from Smith and Hastings playing behind a beaten pack every week to just absolute monsters up front.
Yeah.
We got absolute monsters. Byrne, I thought, just worth a mention. Liam Byrne was everything I want Liam Byrne to be. He was direct. His tackle height was low. He didn't miss any tackles, I don't think.
Just did a 7, 8 out of 10 job.
Every time he got the ball, he got us going forward.
Yeah.
And he realised he doesn't have to be Luke Thompson.
Well, have you seen Pete's comments, by the way, this week?
About Byrne?
Yeah. That he was improving and he was just disappointed that he didn't get him on because plans change.
He doesn't have to be Luke Thompson. He doesn't have to be Ethan Abbott. He just has to be Liam Byrne. He has to be direct. He has to be solid. He has to be, squeaky clean in defence. I think like Cam Smith was trying to do too much.
Yeah.
Cam Smith, just go and beat Cam Smith.
Yeah.
Don't try and beat Kevin Sinfield. Just go and beat Cam Smith. And I think that's what Liam Byrne did right in this game. He was just solid.
Yeah.
I think Wigan's back is,
worth mentioning in this game. Obviously, shorter minutes for Luke Thompson. 30 minutes,
Still
I think it was.
For that.
But he's still very effective, but we used to see Luke Thompson doing 50, 60.
He's an absolute beast.
So, without necessarily resting him, he's had a quieter game. Cade Ellis did 45, came off straight after he scored. And big minutes for Tyler Dupree, who played over 40. I think Mago played over 40, didn't he?
Yeah.
Byrne played 40 odd.
35, 37, I think.
So I think the three have had Thompson, Ellis, who play the majority of our minutes. Even though they played, and Havard came back on for a second spell. I'm not sure if any of them played much more over 40.
Not as much as they usually do.
Having a rest without not playing a week. And everyone talks about resting in terms of not playing this week. But that's a rest for them.
Yeah.
I think that is the right way to rest players, personally.
Keep them fit, keep them sharp.
Yeah, just 20 minutes, limit the minutes rather than take them out completely.
Yeah.
I'm over the fan of that. I think I've said this before, but I'm not a fan of I think a week off can do you
as much harm as it does.
Yeah, just getting out of that momentum of consistently playing and keeping your kind of training and on a pause is not the same stuff as playing.
Well, while we're mentioning it, it's probably worth mentioning now, and it would go into predictions, but we play Salford this week. I can't see us resting anyone.
I don't think you can.
We can't afford to. We need to win.
Unless someone has got an injury.
And you need to keep that, that fluid team cohesion going, just changing personnel.
There's no point having 2 weeks off.
Bringing people out to bring people in. It just messes your systems up, and you don't want that. You want consistency. You need to be building them. People get used to the people they're playing alongside. And
the next game we play after this will be
to get to Old Trafford.
Yeah.
So
The only thing that I could see us causing us to change something and rest someone is if, I'm just picking him randomly, but a Basmisky. If he's got a tight hamstring and he's 50-50, he could play if you really needed him. You might just rest him. I can't see us resting anyone for the sake of resting him. It would have to be.
I would. Yeah, that's what I mean. I
I
would
think
only.
anyone would see us doing that.
I would only rest if it calls for it because of injury. I wouldn't be taking a
I don't think
precaution.
that- I
He's
don't-
100%, but just in case he does get injured for the semi, I'm going to rest him. You can't.
I don't think there's anyone who is.
No, that's
Either
what I mean.
that's the other point. I don't think there's anyone carrying a knock.
No, same for me. Same 13, and I want the same people out there getting used to it because if that's the strongest 1 to 13, that's probably going to take. If we get to the grand final, it's going to take to the field at Old Trafford. I want them getting as much experience playing together as humanly possible.
Right, we'll come back and we'll have a 6 again, Matty.
Yes. Time for our set of 6 then this week, and we're going to start with the Eyecatchers. Lewis, you go first.
Yeah, so the Super League table has caught my eye this week, or particular section. Obviously, things are getting close at the top, but things have also been very close at the bottom. And London are off the bottom
Yeah.
on points difference, but
It's minus
We'll-
352 for London,
yeah,
minus 353 or something for... It's like 1 point.
yeah. So it's Hull FC now at the bottom with the wooden spoon. Obviously, that doesn't really influence relegation with IMG coming in, but I don't know. I mean, we'll talk about Hull FC. We'll do the around the ground section in a bit, but I don't know. I feel good for London though. I think they have worked hard. They've been in games.
They've worked harder than London.
You just said it
No,
right.
They've worked harder than Hull,
they've-
sorry.
London are not bottom by just trying a bit harder
Yeah.
I'm still losing.
and still losing. Well, Hull FC have been battered like 60 odd points to nil. Was it 60 points to 4 against
They got
Leeds
60
the other week?
put on again.
And Leeds aren't a good time. Leeds aren't a good team, and they're putting 60 on. London stuck in that game
London went to a golden point with Leeds, didn't they?
Yeah.
twice, wasn't it?
Then then they went to almost beat Catalan, they almost beat Huddersfield.
They did beat Catalan in one game.
Yeah, they did. But they almost beat them this week.
By just trying harder, London have not finished bottom.
Well, they've still got one more game.
But
They've got to
not
play Warrington,
finished
they've got
bottom
to
so
play
far.
Warrington.
And you know what, London have had some big scores put on by Wigan and Warrington, and that, you know what, that can happen.
So London, I think one of the biggest ones they put on by Cass. London have got to play Wire, and Hull have got to play Catalan. So who's going to lose by more is basically the.
Yeah.
But why are guaranteed third, aren't they?
Technically, could they not still catch Hull KR
I don't.
if they put points on? I don't know.
I don't think so. But my point is if they can't, and I think you're just confirming that, Lewis, aren't you?
Yeah, Warrington have pretty much guaranteed third. If Hull KR lose to Leeds next week and Wire win, there's a chance they can sneak into second on points difference. There's currently 14 points difference.
Oh, so they could still get second.
So they are
So they could still get second, actually. I was going to say, it's down to Hull KR losing to Leeds, which I can't see them doing.
No.
But my point was going to be, will Warrington maybe rest a few players setting up for that third v6 game
Possibly they'd just go full strength and hammer London
and hope Leeds can
and
turn
hope
someone
Leeds can
over?
win.
Yeah.
Go on, Tom, what's your eye catcher for this week?
Well, we had angry players, we've had angry coaches.
Yeah.
We've now got angry owners.
Angry pundits.
We've had angry pundits.
Angry pundits.
We've now got angry owners. Derek Beaumont. We've just getting involved.
Had to be Derek, didn't
He's
it?
got involved, hasn't
He started off with the spitting your dummy out against Sam Burgess. He's now threatening legal action against... I don't even think he said who against. But if London stay up...
he? No, London don't stay.
If London don't stay up after finishing not finishing bottom, he said he's going to sue someone.
But it is something.
Will legally fight for Hull FC to be relegated if they finish bottom for next
Against
week.
who? Who
But
would
he-
defend?
But it was voted the rules. You can't then
can't change the
you
rules.
then can't sue once the rules have been set.
You can change the rules if you want to add more teams, but you can't change the rules to relegate someone now. That's not fair.
Unless he's saying I don't want anyone to get relegated and we should just bring 2 up. I could see him,
I could
a remote argument
I could
there.
understand that.
I don't think it would happen because the rules have already been set, but I could see where he's standing.
But that's not so harsh.
This is just weird. I love it.
My eye catcher, then, if you're interested in, is the match between Doncaster and Widnes at Doncaster. Doncaster won this game, which meant they were safe from relegation, officially. So well done to them. The odd thing, this is why it caught my eye, because Doncaster being safe from relegation is not that eye-catching, is that they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places away from the relegation zone. They're only 3 points off the playoffs.
They've only just guaranteed
They're just
safety.
guaranteed safety. They could still make the playoffs.
How many games are left? 2.
They've got... no, they've got more than 2 games left. Oh yeah, they've got 2 games left, sorry.
2 games left. They could still make the playoffs.
They can still make
but
the
are only
playoffs.
just safe. I love that.
They've only just got safety and they actually said mission accomplished, so I don't think they're really going for the playoffs, but technically they could still get in. They're in 8th out of 14 and they've only just survived officially. That's just mad, that is how close that league is.
But that's what we should want leagues to be like.
Well,
where anyone can beat anyone.
Because the reason it's like this is because one team is 13 points clear at the top and one team is 14 points adrift at the bottom. So Dewsbury are on 2 points off 24 games and Wakefield are on 46 points off 24 games. So they've only lost 2 and Dewsbury have only won 1. So that's why the rest
if
of the
London
league
were
is-
in for Wakefield, you wouldn't think London would be flying away at the top. So they'd be in that middle pack of being
London
able to
wouldn't
beat
fly
anyone.
away from the top, no.
So
But neither would Hull, if I'm being honest.
yeah, to be fair.
I think if there was still the Super 8s, I was trying to work it out today, if there was still the Super 8s, you could have had Wakefield, London, Bradford, Sheffield in with Cass, Huddersfield, Hull FC and London. More than one of those teams would be thinking, we can get up here. Wakefield would be up, but Toulouse and Bradford and Sheffield would be thinking, we've a chance here. We'd fancy ourselves if we can beat the other 3 championship clubs. We're a chance.
Yeah, it's different though, isn't it? Because would Hull FC have let Ockenborg go to Bradford?
Yeah, you never know. Right, the next one is tackle 4. We're going to do the try of the week.
Yeah.
The try of the week this week goes to the Cronulla Sharks, and to be honest, I don't actually know who finished this try off because it was the assist that made it the try of the week
Just
for us.
unreal.
It was Nikora, the second rower. If you not watched this, Hines passes it out to Tricky Trindle, who steps back inside. He beats 4 defenders with a flick pass back on the inside to the second row. He runs a lovely inside line. 2 Melbourne players tackle each other.
It's the disguise though.
It is brilliantly disguised. 4 of them converge on Trindle, and he just flicks it out the back like disguised. The Westpac red zone cam was good for this one. In fact, there's 6 defenders all trying to tackle him. And he smothers the ball to someone else with a ridiculous offload. Yeah, brilliant play this. And the shot of the week? The shot of the week was Cronulla Sharks again. Cronulla Sharks again. Talakai absolutely smoked somebody.
He knocked his boots
He
off.
knocked him out of his boots. And this is mad, this. So you were saying before, you can't give this to Cronulla Sharks again. Because you've now got the try of the week and the shot of the week and they've lost. But this one absolutely slaughters him. I can't believe it.
It's a massive hit. And just to point out, they got beat quite convincingly.
Yeah, convincingly.
37-10 and it took a try of the week to get
to
one
10.
of the tries.
And the shot of the week as well. Brilliant play this from Talakai. He could put a big shot in, can he?
He's a big centre, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's a big dude, so when he hits you, you stay it. You know,
I'm just tweeting the shot of the week now. And then I'll tweet the try of the week as well. The player of the week, Tim Laffey
Yep.
from Salford Red Devils. So
They've got him back at the right time, haven't they?
Someone from Super League. He scored a hat-trick, so straight away you're thinking it could be in with a chance. But he also had 219 metres. Every time he touched the ball, he averaged 15 metres carry.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, brilliant day out for him. I mean, the caveat comes with that it was against Hull FC, and Brad Singleton actually scored a try in this game, so that's a bit of a caveat that Hull let Brad Singleton score. Mark Sneed kicked 9 goals.
Sorry, I've just tweeted this game was at Hull as well.
Yep. Well, we're going to go around the grounds next, but like you're letting Lafay score three tries, and he made 219 metres. Nene McDonald made 194. Dion Cross made 162, and all three of them scored.
Wow.
Brad Singleton went for 137 metres. Wow. We were talking about Singleton being finished before. Maybe he's not. Joe Mellor, 2 tries, 108 metres. I mean, come on.
I can't.
Well, we'll go around the ground to talk about that, but the player of the week there is Tim Lafay.
I was going to say, they got him back at the right time, haven't they?
Yeah. He's a good player, him, though, isn't he?
Yeah. He's been out injured and getting like 2 weeks here. Let him have a start up against Hull FC where he's not going to be too challenged, and then go into next week and then the playoffs. You want Lafay in your side.
Yeah, that's the set of 6 done for this week then. So well done to...
Have we kicked it into touch for
Tim
a controlled
Lafay.
restart?
I think power play, just
Oh,
turnover.
so we've made 6 big carries.
Ian Watson style turnover on 10 metres out with a power play.
Throwing no threat, no shape.
No shape, definitely not no shape. But yeah, Tim Lafay, player of the week, and shot of the week, and try of the week both go to Cronulla Sharks.
Yeah.
So we're back to go around the grounds next.
Yeah. So we're going to go around the grounds now. Plenty of big scorelines this week.
Points put on teams.
Plenty of points.
Yeah, a couple of blowouts.
Shall we start off with St Helens vs Castleford? 40 points to 4. 14 points to 4 at half time. Kept it close and then Saints ran away with it in the end.
Is this what happened last time when it was at Cass?
I think so. They kept it
ran away
close.
with it towards the end of that time.
Yeah. Saints needed this.
I think they had a
Big time.
couple more back this week, did they, St Helens, if I remember right.
Yeah.
I think a couple more come back for...
There weren't many missing, so they didn't have much of an excuse.
Well, they didn't have
that's what I mean.
Darryl Clark. They didn't have. Oh, they had
He was on the bench.
He was on the bench. Yeah, he came off the bench. But Wellesby was back starting.
Yeah, so they had a couple
Makinson,
back.
Percival. The Benison played, didn't he?
Yeah, I think that's got a trick, I think.
They said goodbye to a few players, didn't they? They said goodbye to Makinson, obviously.
Yeah.
Dodd.
He's going to Catalan. They said goodbye to Dodd.
Was it Sam Royal as well?
And Sam Royal, that's it.
That's the only
Matautia. Matautia. So
Is out you going?
Yeah, he's going back home.
So they said goodbye to
I was going back on it.
Back to Australia. I don't think he's
to
playing in Australia.
Oh, right.
Don't know. He said he's got quite a young family, so they're going back to Australia.
No,
Don't know what he's going to do next.
That's a
but
big loss for Saints.
it is, yeah. I think they were expecting it though
Yeah.
all year. The fans were certainly expecting it.
Yeah.
Castle can get the season done.
Yeah.
Move on. There've been some bright sparks, but
Yeah.
really they needed.
We talked about this a couple of years ago. Like, we were on about this before we started the podcast, and Castle had some positive signs and then had a negative season the year after.
They need to build on this.
There's been some positive signs this year.
Yeah, well, I actually think last year they won 4 or 5 games. They've got 15 points this year. They've been a lot harder to beat.
Catalan.
To beat, yeah.
They've stuck in games as well.
They beat St Helens. That's St Helens. They nearly beat us. They nearly beat Hull KR.
Was it 3 weeks in a row? They nearly beat Wigan, Hull KR, and I think it was.
Then they did beat Saints, didn't
Then they beat Saints.
Yeah, they've been getting better every performance.
Yeah. So they've got to build on it. Hull KR went to Lee. We were talking about maybe this was a potential bit of fatigue and
bit of bogey skin.
bit of a bogey skin. But mainly there was the potential for Hull KR to be fatigued. A tough game going to Lee. The travel.
Yeah, tricky fixture this.
But they dealt with it well. 24 points to 0.
Yeah.
Defended really well.
Mikey Lewis is so good. He's really good, isn't he?
Yeah. He's got to step up now though.
Yeah, I mean,
Playoffs are calling,
he
and
has to do it.
he's got to step up in the game that
He has
matters.
to do it in a final or a semi-final, yeah, but he has been fantastic.
Because obviously, I don't think he really did it in the Challenge Cup final last year, and they didn't get the result where Lamb stepped up in that big moment and wins the game for them.
But yeah.
They lost in the semi-final of the Challenge Cup this year. He's got to step up and do it now if he wants to go from being a good player to a great player.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his defence as well for me. I don't want to. He is brilliant. We know what he can do in attack. He dribbles. He's strong. He's got a really good step on him. I dare to say it. I don't know. Would you put him in the same category attacking wise as someone like George Williams? Say he's got the same
I don't think
attacking
it's
threat
George yet.
with a
With the
step
ball?
or
With the
with
ball.
ball in hand.
I think he might be.
George has done it. He's got to do it for 5-6 years to be.
The
George-
thing that separates
George's defence.
Yeah, that's the thing that separates them, isn't it? You'll talk about like England, for example. You want Williams in because you know second rows aren't going over the top of him.
They're not going to run over him easily.
Do I back
Yeah.
Mikey Lewis against someone like
Rampage.
Olakwatu,
Yeah.
someone like for playing Tonga, for example, or
And he did it last year.
David
But
Fafita?
how I would describe it is Mikey Lewis, he's not a bad defender for a half-back. But George Williams is an amazing defender for anybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That Williams is just a brilliant defender.
Last week against us, I thought he was poor defensively.
Yeah,
And
I don't think he targeted him.
people could target him.
He's a half-back though. He's a diminutive half-back. They're going to get targeted. I think he's not a
You play
terrible
Australia
defender.
in a World Cup final, they'll go running straight over the top of him.
Yeah.
And that's the aim.
Yeah.
And he hasn't shown that when they target him, he can deal with it for 80 minutes.
Yeah. No, you're right.
Um,
That's what Williams has got over him, definitely.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
Williams
that's
is a
what-
brilliant defender.
Yeah.
I think Smith has shown
But I think he improves his inside shoulder, and we're talking about
yeah.
an all-round fantastic halfback.
Yeah, I agree.
Weird that there was 3 games on Friday and 3 games on Saturday. There was no Thursday, no Sunday this week. And on Saturday were there a couple of clashes? There was a 5 o'clock and a 6 o'clock and an 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
It just seems a bit weird that you could have done the 4 o'clock.
I'm going to say the weird thing with the Friday one was obviously Wigan, Leeds, Saints, Cass, Lee, Hull KR. Leeds, Wigan would have wanted to watch Hull KR to see what was going on, and Hull KR would have wanted to watch Wigan. If you're a fan of them teams, but Leeds, Saints, and Lee would have wanted to watch all of each other because they're all fighting for them playoffs. So I think the viewing figures had a chance to be really big because all the teams, especially at this point in the season, all the teams want to know what the other ones are doing because you could get them. But obviously you can't because they're all on at the same time. Going over to Saturday, Salford went over to Hull FC. We've talked about Salford's poor away form, only winning 2 before this.
Yeah.
58 points to 4.
I mean, we just ran through the stats then when we did Player of the Week for Tim Laffey, but some of the stats there are ridiculous. I mean, getting Joe Mellor over 100 metres, scoring 2 tries. Singleton going over 100. Doss 219 run metres for Tim Laffey, and McDonald and Crossbow scoring with loads of metres. Hull FC, what is going on? Have they just completely given up?
I think they have.
And I forgot to do this with my catcher, but Richie Myler's statement was going to be brought up.
Oh, go on.
Richie Myler, you know Richie Myler did a statement?
I've seen it, but I've not read it. I've just seen the post.
Richie Myler put out a statement yesterday, I think it was, on Hull FC's official account, and it was basically saying we're well short of where we should be. Well short of where we should be.
Well, yeah.
And it's certain people's fault. He didn't mention any names, but he basically said a lot of factors have contributed to it, but he said clearly certain members of our organisation are not good enough to deliver their roles. So I wonder who that could be.
Big words.
They are big words. And so he said, ultimately we need to make a change. What that change is going to be when they've already got a head coach announced for next year.
I don't want to be funny though.
Already got like a dozen signings, it feels like.
I want to be funny. What a pointless statement though.
He hasn't really said much.
We've finished bottom. We know it's nowhere near good enough. I think any man and his dog would know that there's big changes needed to fix Hull FC.
He also mentioned small margins in there, which is not true at all when you talk about Hull FC.
No.
They're not lost by small margins, have they? No.
Not consistently.
No.
So I think it's a pointless statement.
He had to say something. You think that Pearson would say something? But I've not heard him for months. There's all these rumours about them getting bought by somebody else. I've not heard Pearson speak for months.
But come out and say, we know it's not good enough.
Well, that's what I said.
We're doing the right things to try and fix it. It won't be an immediate thing.
That's what he said.
But to start saying certain people aren't good enough,
Yeah,
that's just shifting the blame. There's someone else whose fault it is.
What he said is actually not to point fingers and play the blame game, but there are certain individuals that aren't up to the standard of their job roles. So you have played the blame game, haven't you? You're not named names like, but
And when them people aren't there next year, everyone will know who it is. You keep an eye on who's there this year and who's not there next year. You're going to know who's on about.
Yeah.
So you've just blamed people without blaming them. And
you've already got a head coach coming in. You've already got loads of signings coming in. We'll talk about another one in the news section.
Like, what?
Isn't it just like wait and see at this point?
Yeah.
But wait and see if they're that bad next year.
Why not come out and say what changes you've made? What are we doing differently? We want some more experience in our house. That's why we've gone for Aiden Season. I'm sorry to break it, Black.
Oh, you've ruined this news now.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But no one's looking at Aiden Caesar signing and going, oh, that's great. Leeds didn't want him. The West Tigers took him and got rid of him. Mm-hmm. We've got Aiden Caesar because of this.
Jackson Hastings didn't want to come.
Yeah. But you're just saying there's other problems. Of course I'm going to try and fix them. Well, obviously you are.
So you're not a fan of his statement?
No.
No, well, they got absolutely pumped again.
It's a toxic situation, isn't it? Because you were mentioning signings, they're going to need new signings, but who's going to want to join Hull at the minute?
Mercenaries.
Absolutely no one, unless you're going to throw big paychecks at them.
Yeah, long contracts.
Show me the money.
Big paychecks on long contracts, people who go for the money or whatever. Then it all goes sour because you end up still, and we know where it ends up. Mm-hmm. We've seen it happen time after time.
I don't want to pick on someone, but hasn't Asiata got a 4-year contract?
3 maybe on a marquee money.
On a marquee thing. He's been barely able to string 5 games together for Lee this year.
Yeah.
He's not getting better. They've not picked up a 26-year-old. If they give massive marquee money in a 5-year contract to Mikey Lewis, I know they would never get Mikey Lewis, but they've got that long-term halfback. They've not got someone you think is going to be there for the next 10 years. I don't know, it's just awful. Sorry, can we stop talking about that?
It is. Only thing you can hope is that, this new coach comes in and tries to change things on the field for them.
I think they'll be better.
I hope so.
They'll be better because the players they've signed are better players.
Yeah.
Now, they are short term.
But they've signed Oliver Holmes. You can't get a game for Lee.
Yeah, but I don't know who's playing for FC. They're on shirt number 74. I genuinely don't know who these players are who they're turning out every week.
They brought in Zach Hardacre. They've got Tuamavavi and...
No, Tuamavavi's...
He's gone, hasn't it? But
yeah.
Sutcliffe. Is he going to play full back, Hardacre?
No.
Have they signed him as a centre?
He'll play as a centre, won't he?
So, it's not going to get any better. So even if they do improve next year, they're just going to be in the same place in a year's time. Unless they're going to pay him out of all the contracts and get rid of them and bring in fresh again.
Rapinoe will play fullback, I imagine.
A 35-year-old Jordan Rapinoe. He might even be older than 35.
Rapinoe, Briscoe, Chamberlain, Abdul, Caesar, Borough, Cartwright and Aiden came this year. Ollie Holmes and Asiata. That's almost a full 13. Cade Cust.
Asiata's the one where you go, he could actually fix a few things. He could go straight down the middle. He could give you some ump going forward.
But that side's way more solid than what they're currently putting out on the field. You're not telling me that's not a side that's not more solid than what they've currently got.
No, but I'd also look at it and go, Hardacre and Ollie Holmes can't get in to a Lee side that are trying to make the playoffs.
Are well better than Hull FC. Hull FC will be better next year. Move on.
Are they going to be anywhere near the top 6?
No.
With that, so they're going to be 8th, 9th, 10th.
How are they going to get near the top 6? Who are they going to sign? They can't, can they? Lewis has just said you're not getting the right players to go for that club. You have to build it for a few years. You can't just...
I think that's it. I think the question is, what does success look like for Hull FC?
Coming 8th or 9th. That's the best they can hope for, I imagine.
They can't come 8th or 9th and that be successful.
How on earth can they sign in good enough players to finish in the top 6?
You have to look. There has to be. We're talking about players that no one else wants.
Yeah, so you can't get in the top 6 with those players, can you? You can be better. They'll be better, a lot better, but you can't get in the top 6 with them players. You have to.
But they've signed them.
They're better than not signing them. Better
How
sign
much is
over.
Eyecatchers going to be on? If he's on marquee money,
Wedge.
he's going to be on wedge right. There's got to be a better option than a 30. Is he 32? Eyecatchers? Really?
I can't think of one.
Ollie Partington's going Catalan.
There's no way Ollie Partington's going to Hull. If Catalan are interested, or Hull are interested, and you're Ollie Partington, you're going to Catalan. I'm sorry, you just...
But I don't necessarily disagree with that. But there's got to be. If you're paying that money, you might as well go and get someone cheaper. So you can bring more players in.
I don't know. I think they'll be better.
I don't know. I think, I'm kind of in between the two here. I don't think top 6 is going to be achievable. I think it's the far off it.
I don't think they make 10.
I don't know how long we've signed this coach for, but I think we need to be looking long term and building something.
I Wakefield a better team than them.
Yeah, currently.
And I think they're going to be a better team when they bring all them in.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
It's a long term project, I think, for LFC. It's got to
you
be.
say Wakey's recruitment has been better.
Yeah.
But it's a more attractive proposition. Going to Wakey's more attractive at the moment than going to Hull. They're on the side on the up, aren't they? New owner, ambitious, spending off the field, spending on the field. They're winning every game. Fans are coming through the door. Fans are excited.
Would you go Huddersfield or Hull FC?
Good question.
I don't know. Wakefield. I don't know who I'd sign for. I'd probably sign for Huddersfield because I reckon that their squad is going to be a bit more motivated.
They're closer to a top 6 team.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, but if we're already talking about motivation with the squad that they've got, not one of them signings I've gone, that's going to make me feel a bit better.
Amir
Borough. Where was he at? It was at Salford, wasn't it? So he'd gone to a season at Salford, so was Cost, and they've let him go.
He's been alright for Salford, but Salford fans like him.
But they let him go.
Yeah.
That says enough, doesn't it?
Yeah, he's not as good as Nicarima.
I just don't... I can't... Yeah, it can't get worse than being bottom. But that's where it's going to be. Right, I can't talk about them anymore.
Did you keep going on with them?
It makes me feel sick. Actually, I'm going to back Derek Beaumont. I'm on Beaumont's side. I'd relegate him. Warrington, Huddersfield are another team that I'd relegate. Huddersfield there. 66 points to 0, Warrington win. That is just...
I called it. Sorry everyone, but I did call it.
36-0 at half time. And then 66-0. And I don't even think Warrington were flying.
Once they got that win for Robinson last week,
it.
that was it. Them done. They didn't care anymore.
This is another team. It's just not going to get any better. I can't see it getting any better.
No.
Burgess will be an increase, but they're losing Chris Hill.
Yeah.
They've let Luke Yates go. I don't think they've necessarily placed him. They should get the second rower back. What's his name?
Murchie.
Obviously, he's been out for a long period, and I thought he played well. But they're going to have to make some massive changes, Huddersfield, if they want to fix it. And
I feel sorry for the owner.
Ken David. He's pumped some money in, man.
Well, he pumped some money in. I don't think anybody could question that. The investment he had in the squad, he went and got Watson after after he was rated as a very high as a coach from Salford. So you can't see he's not tried to, invest in the club and put it forward. He's not getting a lot of money in because we know the fan base, they're struggling to get attendings through the door. And obviously, the main thing clubs get is going to be ticket money. So a lot of this money is probably his own money. It's not revenue back from the club that he's getting, from ticket sales.
Football side have put him on notice as well about leaving.
Yeah.
John Smith.
I'm going to ask you something. The same point applies to Hull FC. Do any players go to Huddersfield and get better? Or the reputation get better?
Harry Rushton? Halsall?
Halsall is coming first teamer. A regular first teamer, sorry. He was around the first team squad at Wigan, but he's becoming a regular first teamer. Anyone else? Really? But I at least look at Cass and go, Tex always improved his reputation over here.
Yeah, The senior brothers.
The senior brothers.
Sam Wood.
Sam Wood's got an international call up.
Westerman was already highly rated.
Yeah.
So you
Liam Horn's gone there, and you know what? Some Super League clubs will be looking at Liam Horn.
I guess you could say, like Adam Clean's played alright.
Yeah.
Ollie Russell.
There's one. There's not many that go there and get better. And I look at your top teams and you bring players in and they get better. Warrington have brought players in and they've got better. They've become better players. You know, good sides, you've got to get better. I know that sounds basic, but I bet you look at the teams at the bottom and think the players don't get better when they go there. Final game. Catalans London.
What a weird game.
Only close game this week.
I know, it was 8-0 to London as well.
Yeah.
That Wallace scored. He's leaving, isn't he, that prop? He's an absolute monster, he's enormous. Jared Wallace.
How long's he been there?
Well, he joined with Remus Smith, didn't he? So, like, just before Magic Weekend.
And he's leaving.
He's leaving, yeah. He was a quick fix though, wasn't he? Because the Takiyaho was the experienced NRL forward and he got sacked, didn't he? So.
And Wallace came from the Dolphins, didn't he?
Yeah.
Where's he going?
I don't know. I don't think they said.
But he's massive.
He's massive, yeah.
We'll say Satai got sent off with 10 minutes to go. I'd have loved it if London could have nicked to win it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't it before beat Catalan? Unfortunately, it wasn't to be this term. Always heard.
That's a shift going to Catalan.
It is, and this is what
four.
we said before. London have just kept in games through effort and, professionalism.
And there's some serious players playing for Catalan. Tompkins played, Abdul.
Yeah.
That's not a weak Catalan side that are prepping for the playoffs and have thought we'll just send the weak side out and get through.
No.
That's their full side.
Yeah.
Fair play.
Yeah.
Right, that wraps up around the grounds, and we'll come back for the news.
Okay, chaps, time for the news. Not too much of a busy week in rugby league. This one, just a couple of bit of news, bit of talking points. First one, not really news. I'm sure everybody knows about it, but definitely a talking point. Minchella banned for 2 games for his high shot this week, which means
on the Matador.
Yes, which means that obviously, depending on obviously they're going to finish. We're thinking in the top 2. Hull KR, which means obviously he'll be banned for it's banned for the last league game next week. Obviously then they'll get a week off and they'll go straight to a semi-final, which means he'll be banned for that. So the next time Minchella will be playing, presumably it's going to be if they make Old Trafford.
How mad's this though? They could lose to Leeds, finish 3rd, miss him for the eliminator and potentially have him for a semi-final. If they were to win, they were eliminated. If they lost this week on Wire win,
yeah,
then
I suppose.
Assuming they appeal, because they've appealed it, haven't they? They've already said that they're appealing.
They're appealing it, yeah.
So they'll hope it will come down to 1 game.
I think you might as well appeal it because they never add a frivolous 1 game on if it's going to be for the final.
Imagine if they added 1 game.
They'll not do that. They won't do that. They don't make people miss the final for that. That's just stupid. So they might as well appeal it.
Yeah.
I bet it stays at 2 though.
I think I did. To be honest, my first thought was it was 3.
It's not going to go to 0.
No.
I think it'll go to 2. I think it'll go down to 1, but I bet it stays at 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, next on the agenda, interesting this one. Blake dropped by St Helens. They've done this a couple of times, haven't they, since this season? They've obviously Dodd turned into a bit of a scapegoat, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a bit of a story, that,
dropped
wasn't it?
for a bit. Obviously, I know they've struggled with injuries. As we've said on the podcast before, we're all in education. I have some students who are St Helens fans, and we have the banter with them because they know I'm a Wigan fan.
Yeah.
And he's really not liked.
No, he's not.
By Saints fans. I don't think a lot of Saints fans view him in high regard.
I'm going to say, was there not a spell around, round 8?
He was the best player in the world.
To about round
He was the best central on the
40.
planet then, yeah.
He was going to do this, he was going to do that.
Yeah,
Now he was fit.
Yeah.
He had a bit of trouble around Good Friday.
Yeah.
and then he got some form or whatever. And ever since he blew that try,
Where he ran inside.
ran inside and got tackled.
Interesting, this one. What happens to him? Presumably, well, they didn't say goodbye to him, did they?
No.
When they said goodbye to their mothers this week.
I don't. Who would take him off the hands?
I don't know.
You've got to send him somewhere. Or you've got to pay him out of a contract. And then he's a free agent and some club can go and pick him up on next to nothing. You wouldn't do that, would you? You're going to pay someone, you'd rather keep him in your squad.
So we're going to be struggling for backs. Obviously, Hovell's out of the picture.
Yeah.
To be fair, I feel bad for him.
That's
with
it.
the
Blake's
strength.
now been dropped.
Yeah.
I know they have signed in the North Queensland Cowboys winger.
The wing,
thinking
they've signed a winger.
to
Yeah.
replace Makinson. But
They
obviously
signed
we
two
know-
wingers because they signed Lewis Murphy.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
it's-
they,
they've got Lewis
they signed
Murphy,
two
they've got-
wingers and a full-back.
Yeah,
Or,
they've got
well, I
Lewis
don't know if
Murphy.
Sale's going to play full-back or six, but they signed two wingers
And a span player.
and a spine player, yeah, you could say.
Just the thing I don't like with Blake was obviously they've signed him as a centre, they give him the number 3, and then they shoved him out on the wing. And he's not a winger.
Well, because Hurrell started the season.
Because Hurrell started. And I just think, if you're bringing in a centre, you have to play him at centre. Like,
I don't know. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Switching over to Australia. First week of the finals has gone down.
Yeah.
In NRL, so we'll do the NRL section next and run through the scores, but been some nice close games. We're going to talk you through the next section. Obviously, things heating up in the finals week of the NRL. So obviously keep your eye out on that as that progresses. This one a little bit strange, this one. I don't know if it's up as news. I've decided to include it. Wigan game for this week coming
Yeah.
was scheduled to be on Friday.
Yep.
We beat Leeds, and the message came over the tannoid saying, right, because of this result, that confirms that next week's fixture against Salford, obviously talking about this one coming, has now moved from Friday to Thursday.
What a
so we're
joke.
now playing on the night before. Now, this is strange. Let me just kind of explain why us three are confused here. Because you would immediately think, okay, that must be because we've won it. It looks like, obviously, if we win the league leaders' shield, if we beat Salford, we'll get to lift the trophy on the Thursday. However, there is a scenario here where if we don't win on Thursday, we don't lift the shield because Hull KR could then beat Leeds, and then they would lift it on the Friday. But if we lose on Thursday and then Hull KR lose to Leeds, we would still be top,
We'd win the League Leaders' Shield.
win the league leaders' shield, but we've not lifted it on the Thursday because we lost the game. So I do not understand why this game has
They've
been
not
moved.
safeguarded against that possibility, which is very real.
do you know, what year was it that they had the helicopter? And
15.
Was that that was Rhinos try, wasn't it? Was it where was it flying?
Huddersfield.
Was it Huddersfield and it went to Leeds?
No, it was
They were playing Huddersfield.
it was going to come to us
yeah.
because we'd won already.
Yeah.
And it turned around like where that fellow's house is on the M62, I think, and went back to Huddersfield and Leeds lifted it.
Like, I just wonder, like, what do they do in the Premier League? Like, they play all the games on the last day.
They just have 2 trophies.
Surely we can have
Premier
one.
League can just spend money on 2 trophies.
But surely we have.
Is there not
One-
one in
one
our?
of the-
Is there not one in our trophy cabinet?
There must be.
that we can just lift.
Yeah. So, but then someone suggested why did Hull KR not play first? Well, Hull KR play first. They couldn't.
Then they wouldn't get to win the
They
Shield.
wouldn't get to lift it on
It's
Thursday.
So stupid, isn't it? It's so and changing it on less than a week's notice is ridiculous.
A lot of fans have been upset.
We've changed plans.
Yeah.
It's now on a work night, so if we do end up lifting the Shield, it'll be 10:30 probably before we get out the stadium on a work night. Salford played Saturday, Thursday, knowing potentially they could need to win.
But not. They would have known on the Saturday that they'll play on the Thursday.
It was
But
still
they
going
can't-
Saturday to
yeah,
Thursday.
They still
though.
got to go Saturday to Thursday.
That's tough. It's just ridiculous, this. Absolutely ridiculous.
It's just very confusing at why,
And to not even
why
say-
this has been done.
To not even say it's a possibility last week to say, oh, if Wigan beat Leeds, then it's going to be on Thursday. To not even say that. To just throw it on us that when we're celebrating a win. Oh, and by the way, we're playing on Thursday, not Friday anymore. What? I've had to change plans.
It was so good though. That time seeing the helicopter, like, I know it didn't come in our favour,
Enough about that helicopter.
but it made the league look good. Like, where's it going? What's happening? You had 2 games going on. The commentary was as it
It's
stands.
like that last year.
Yeah,
Last year when Wigan played Lee, it was a big deal. You had Catalan winning, you had Saints winning, you had Wigan winning. They were all 3 winning. It was determining the top 2, determining top spot. There
Who
were
had to play
games.
the week
There were
after?
games that were determining who was finishing 6th, I remember Warrington won and got 6th, and Salford missed out. I don't know.
I just love that. It would be perfect to have the graphic as it stands. Flash the results up as it stands. This is how the table is. Like, you've got the story made.
Taking any jeopardy away.
Yeah.
It's just a strange one. I don't get why it's been done. The only thing I can think is that you said there, Matty. They're just not.
Isn't there another?
They're making a very big assumption that both Wigan and Hull are not going to lose.
Yeah, they're making an assumption one of those teams at least is going to win, and it's a very real possibility they don't.
Exactly.
There's 2 games on Thursday.
You have to safeguard against that.
Yeah, but it's not Hull.
Huddersfield and Cass play.
But Hull KR isn't the other game.
That's what I mean.
That-
Huddersfield and Cass are on Thursday.
Yeah, because they moved it to Thursday, and I thought that made sense because it didn't really affect anyone else, and you could have some Thursday rugby.
Yeah, well, they've not had for the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So you've been desperate for Thursday rugby, and they've not put any on.
On the 1 week that no one would have an issue.
On the one
they've all
week,
been played at the same time.
where it's supposed to all be played at the same time, they've not done it. It's absolutely bonkers. I can't understand it at all. They're killing the jeopardy for.
We try and make stories every week about something in rugby league, or should I say, the game does. And the one time we've got a naturally occurring story, they just decide to ruin it.
To give a unintentional plug to a rival podcast, only in rugby league could this happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's be working up before we get too angry. News out to Huddersfield. A couple of bits of news. One. Just talked about Ken Davis, saying we feel a bit sorry for him.
Oh, yeah.
Once again, he's kind of, so he wants to take the club forward. He's announced that there are plans in works for Huddersfield to get their own stadium. Huddersfield Giants, obviously, currently.
That'd be good.
They are
Has he said
sharing the
there's
John
plans?
Smiths with...
Or he said there's intentions.
There's intentions.
Yeah.
I think it should be like the AJ Bell. I think that's done well for Salford.
Yeah.
Something like that. It doesn't even have to be quite as
Well,
big, but
at
a
the
couple of
minute-
standing sections.
Yeah.
A seated one and a corporate type one for them. I think that would work wonders. It's too big. The football team want them shut of them anyway.
How big do you aim to make it?
Well, however big Salford is. They were saying 5,000. Salford is bigger than that. They were saying 5,000. I'd make it 7,000 or 8,000. You're ambitious then, but also if you get your current crowd, it still looks fine. And it still makes an atmosphere. One standing section, or actually 2 standing sections actually, like Salford does.
Yeah.
A small stand along the side for your families, and another stand for your corporate.
Yeah.
And where the tunnel is. That's it. That's how I'd do it.
Yeah. I don't disagree.
And I would also,
How
if
much
it's
is that going to cost Ken Davey?
that's going to cost an awful lot. It's an arm and a leg. But I also think what they should do, if possible, surrounding area, like a fan village, space for that.
Bit like Cass's setup.
A bit like, yeah.
Skirts is all
That's
stuff.
what's going to draw people into the game.
Try and get something like OKR.
Something like that, yes. Well, that's what Cass have got, really, isn't it? It's not in view of the pitch, but they've got quite good food and drink options. The fan zone. We got the fan village. You need something. You need something to draw. The stadium experience needs to be good wherever it is, because obviously we went there for that World Cup game, didn't we? We just had a rollover hot dog. That's all they had.
Yeah.
Just a bottle of Fanta or someone had on the radiator. It needs to be a good stadium experience.
Was it Huddersfield that we left and you just giving pies out for £1?
Yeah.
That was
I
Huddersfield,
remember that.
That was Huddersfield.
Pound of pie.
You had a trolley full of pies into that bloke.
Yeah. Other news coming out of Huddersfield that you've just shown me on your phone right now as we speak. Signing.
Yes.
They've signed it. What's
Zach
his name?
Wolford.
Zach Wolford. A 9, I believe. A hooker from Canberra Raiders.
Do you know why this is weird?
You guys are more of an RL than me. Any good?
He's alright, he's a good player. Yeah.
Good player?
Good tackler. Yeah,
Okay.
would be direct from 9. But the weird thing is, his dad is Simon Wolford, who coached Huddersfield
for a bit,
while,
didn't he?
yeah.
I remember. So.
Now, it's only a 12-month deal. And the weird thing is, Raiders have let Danny Levi go as well, or made him available.
Yeah.
So I think there might be a signing coming in for...
He played for Huddersfield, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he's available.
The main thing is just that Starling, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah, but I think they might be getting a signing in at 9 if they're letting these two go. But yeah, Wolford on a 12-month deal, so I think he might be trying to prove himself
And go back.
But obviously there's a link, the family link with Huddersfield. Yeah, he's a good player.
Yeah.
He's a good.
I think he's a good buy.
He's a good sign, a good defensive 9. Will get you going forward.
Play with something to prove.
Oh yeah, he's got something to prove.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely has got something to prove. He's not an over the hill, journeyman. He's definitely looking to get himself a new contract.
It sounds backwards saying that someone that wants to leave, but he wants to go back to the NRL. He's got to prove it.
That's good. Yeah, it's a good sign.
Yeah, he's got some motivation, hasn't he? And the final piece of news to wrap this section up, probably well deserved, I think, in us three opinion. Ash Hanley has been granted a testimonial.
Yeah, good news that. Good news, he
It
deserves
sounds
it.
a bit strange. I still think he seems like a young kid, don't you? And then when you think testimonial, you think it's someone who's nearly ready to retire. But
He's played 200 games in
he's
10 years.
10 years.
I think he's unfortunate only to have the one England cap. I think he's obviously had Ryan Hall for the England and Tommy Makinson.
He's been knocking on the door,
He'll
hasn't
only
he?
be 29 at stats next year.
Feels like I know he's still got plenty left in the tank, but he's like, there's been brilliant England wingers. If he was in a different position, he probably would have got in, but like Hall, McGillivray, Charnley, Makinson, those are like all-time classic guys. Even now, you got young Marshall's struggling to even get a look in, and he's a brilliant winger. So I do think I feel bad
He's
for
been
him.
the ever consistent, hasn't he?
He's only got one
an
England
up
cap.
and down.
Leeds.
Yeah.
He's been a good one for Leeds.
He's the player for Leeds, you would probably say most Super League teams would take him.
I agree. I really do agree. Yeah. I think he's a good.
Just think every season. I don't ever look at him and go, "Is that a bad season?"
Yeah.
Might have a bad season through injury,
With injuries, yeah.
Yeah, not
but you look at him and go,
performance.
he's always performed. He always gets.
He's a good player. And I'm
He's
glad
trust.
he's getting testimonial. He deserves it.
Yeah, 100% agreed. 100% agreed. That was the news, lads.
Oh, we've missed one. I
Uh-huh.
mentioned Eden Caesar.
Oh, and we already talked about
You
it.
talked about that.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Sorry, I ruined that for you.
You did, you ruined that for me.
Don't take away a big moment and then ask him why he's not done it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
But yeah,
Sorry.
you said it last season. So if you didn't listen to that, how you missed it in the last section, yeah, Eden
Eden
Caesar
Caesar.
is off to LFC.
He's going to partner Jordan Abdul, presumably.
Yeah, everything.
Retirement home.
And see.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that one works out. And with that, that wraps up the news. So we'll see you after the break for a bit of NRL and predictions.
So we're going to start off with a little bit about the NRL. Obviously, it was the first round of the playoffs over there. So 4 games. First one was second v third. It was Penrith versus the Roosters. Nathan Cleary back and firing. They just roll him out at big games, didn't they?
Yeah.
30 points to 10. A little bit disappointing for the Roosters. Their record against the top 2 isn't great, is it?
No, it's not. No, they've had a nice schedule, let's say.
Yeah. They got off to a flyer. Penrith 22-0 up after 24 minutes. Roosters got themselves back in it. 24 points to 10.
Suwali was impressive in this game for the Roosters on a losing side.
Yeah.
He's been
They
good.
got a couple out, haven't they, the Roosters? Didn't they get a couple of injuries?
3
bad injuries,
Bradley
Yeah.
Walker and
Last week, so
Cheese.
it was always going to be hard, wasn't it?
Yeah. Like I said, I think it's for the top 2 to win.
Yeah.
You'd say so, yeah. You'd say so, especially with the next game we're going to talk about.
Yeah. Next game was 1v4, Melbourne versus Cronulla.
So these teams get another bite of the cherry,
Yeah, yeah.
by the way, these Sharks and the Roosters.
Well, we'll mention the games coming up. Melbourne, 37 points to 10. It's 14-10 at half time. In the second half, they just ran away with it.
Yep.
Too good. Melbourne were just too good.
Correct.
They give you nothing, Melbourne.
No, it's so true. They never
I
beat
watched
themselves.
this game. They give you nothing.
Never ever beat themselves.
They never make. They don't see that many penalties. They don't cough up stupid errors. They kick and they just hunt in numbers and just pin you in your own half. Every time you kick, you're on your 30 or 40.
It's
quite
suffocating, isn't it?
We've just got to do that again, and they just don't give you anything. It's relentless.
Harry Grant, second half hat-trick.
Yeah.
He's some player in it.
He is.
Yeah,
Harry is. I mean, if you're talking about the best 9 in the world, you'd think about Harry Grant now, aren't you?
Yeah. Over went to, also on Saturday, this was, I should say, Newcastle Knights went to North Queensland. That was 5v8, wasn't it?
Yeah, so no 2 backs to cherry now for these
No,
games.
no,
And these
that's
teams
right.
who lost unfortunately out, it's the end of their season.
Yeah, the Cowboys win 28 points to 16. That score slightly inflated with the last minute try.
Yeah, it was a good game. It's unfortunate, really, for the Knights because they worked so hard to get in the 8.
Yeah. And they were 16-16 with 10
And they
minutes
were,
to go.
yeah,
I just think they ran out of steam.
Cowboys are a good side,
Yeah.
but they
Cotter scored with 7 minutes to go to make it 22-16.
give them an intercept length of the field to kick off the game, then fought their way back in front, and then
second half.
And they blew some tries. Caleb Ponga was
Yeah.
phenomenal. To be honest, he could have been a shout for Player of the Week in a losing side. He was phenomenal. Set Galgai up, who just dropped the ball straight up with 20 yards to go. Things like that kill you in big games, don't they?
They do.
In the last game of the round, the Bulldogs had their first finals game in a long time. It was 6v7 at home. They were in at 6.
They were saying, so the club had said to the police not to be too harsh on spectators celebrating the win after this game, which they then lost. So there was a parade scheduled.
Big thing with this.
It didn't get to happen.
They stood down Adokar, didn't they?
Yes.
Oh, Adokar stood himself down.
Well, yeah.
We could have mentioned this in your news list, but that's such a weird situation. He was pulled over by police, which by the sounds of it is very, very common over there for them to just randomly stop and test people. Bigger than it is over here. And his first test blew back inconclusive. So they sent him for the second one and then sent him on his way. And went into the media that he'd been pulled and whatever. So they stood him down.
Well,
and now it's been reported that it was positive this
well, no,
second test.
originally the media reported that he'd been stopped, but obviously he'd been to carry on, so they were like, we must be fine then. Mm-hmm. And then they found out, actually, this second test came back and it was positive, so...
They sent for the third test.
Then they had a third test and it was still in his system or something like that. I don't know.
This drink driving, I take, or substances.
Substance
abuse, recreational, yeah.
But he stood down to not put more pressure on the team and let the team focus on that, which big decision to make.
What I do want to focus on though is 50,000 fans at the stadium, ridiculous, and the winning try. Koula.
Yeah.
What a winning try this.
Yeah.
I mean, this could have been tried the week if it worked.
Yeah.
Trindle's outrageous, don't it? But yeah, this was a great try, winning
There
try.
was another great try in this.
It deserved to win any game. This try was the winning try.
I love DCEs. I love a scrum play.
Yeah, that was a clever try.
And they hyped it up over here. We've seen Wigan throw some good scrum plays out at people, and it's not really ever don't really get the same hype over here as it does there. Mm-hmm. But a big one in the final to help.
Canterbury had a fantastic season, haven't they? I know it's come to an end now, but from where they come from last season to make the finals and play how they've done with the results they've had is absolutely
They'll
fantastic.
be better for it now.
Yeah, absolutely. Brilliant to see.
Right, we're going to go in predictions. Should we let's throw in the two NRL games. Cronulla host North Queensland on Friday. I think Cronulla. I fancy Cronulla.
This is a lot riding on this game from a attendance point of view.
Yeah. Because
I think this sort of game, a home playoff match against a good team, can determine whether the team stays in Sydney or not. It sounds daft that, but I think if they don't get 20,000 fans, so they're moving it across town.
Is it at Sharp Park?
No, I think it's
No, saying it's at Sharp Park. I'm reading it.
I was saying it's at Sharp Park. Well, anyway, there was talk they were going to move it to a bigger venue. They have to fill that, basically.
I never get that. How can you move someone's home
match
finals game? Like, the whole point is you get home advantage. And I know you want more people, but like, imagine saying we're going to kick Salford out of the home game, the home finals game.
They've had to play it at the Etihad Stadium or something like that.
Because loads of people want to watch it. Now I know.
No, they're playing it at Allianz.
They moved it to Allianz.
Playing it at Roosters. I knew they would. Yeah.
Wow, that's unfair. I don't like that. At all.
Well, they want fans in, and they need. So basically the Sharks need to travel across town, which is about 45 minutes drive.
But who decides?
Similar on the
your
train.
drive's big enough.
Don't know.
What's the magic number?
Well, it's only what I do to get to a game every week. 45 minutes on the car on M62.
But the whole point of Sharp Park is that it's so tough to go
Bermuda
to.
Triangle.
It's so tough to go to, and teams don't like playing there.
Sharp Park.
It's a different climate, and they all rave about it when you go down there. Then you're just taking it away.
They're both in the same stadium. Because the Roosters, obviously, they get to play at home.
Yeah.
Because their stadium's big.
Well, just imagine saying North Queensland Stadium isn't big enough, so we're going to move that to Sydney. I know they wouldn't, but you might as well.
Yeah, I don't know.
I really don't like that. But I'm still going to go Cronulla.
I might go for the Cowboys, actually.
Just looking at the head-to-head,
I like the Cowboys.
They've got a phenomenal record, Cronulla, over North Queensland. Last 20 games, they've won 15 of them.
I like the Cowboys in this one.
Cowboy over Shark, as Phil Gould would say.
Oh, there you went, Lewis.
I'm going to go for Cronulla.
Shark.
I'm going to go for the Sharks, just simply because of the short telic I put on. This week, I just hope he doesn't get.
If he doesn't get,
if I just think he wins my vote, if he doesn't win my vote, what does he win? He's got to have a reward for putting on that shot after losing the game, and the reward he gets is my vote for my prediction.
I still can't figure out where he plays because I always thought he was a centre, but they brought him off the bench in the second row.
They bring him off the bench now, and they play second row or centre.
Just love that, bringing us a strike second.
It's just massive, like he's just a big lad, isn't he?
Big.
You trying stopping him?
Next game,
yeah.
Roosters versus Manly.
Oh, this is a hard one. This isn't it. This is a hard one.
I'm going to go Manly.
I'm going to go Manly as well, just because the injuries Sydney's got. I think if Sydney were at full strength, I'd go Sydney. But
I'm going to go Sydney because Jared's back.
Yes,
Jared Warrior.
See, these two teams, perfect head-to-head, 10 against 10 in the last 20.
I'm going with Big Jared. I'm going with Allianz Stadium. I'm going with Sydney.
This year, only been split. The Roosters beat 134-30 and Manly won 21 points to 14, so close games.
It's a close game, but it'll be a close game, this one. It'll be a good game, this.
I've got to go Manly. I've hyped Tommy Turbo up long enough. He's had to show up.
Fair enough.
Right, Super League. Some predictions. Obviously, we're not going to start. Well, let's start with Wigan.
We're not predicting it, but we'll start with Wigan. Hopefully,
see us lift the trophy after this game.
Yeah.
Again, I think it's going to be a little bit of flexing. I think they're going to play and try and put the points on. Not to do anything, but not cheat the game or anything like that.
There's some rumours of Salford perhaps fielding a weakened side.
I can't see it. Because if they lose, as it stands, Saints are going to Salford. Now, points difference doesn't help them because Saints go above them on points difference.
If they lose, it goes off Saints in the league match.
Yeah. But that could potentially cause a switch, meaning that they have to then go to St Helens, which is such a far harder thing to do than play Saints at home. Home game is so massive to them.
Yeah, that's short turnaround though. I don't know what they're going to do. I'm sure we'll see the
squads. I don't think they could toss it. I don't
see the squads tomorrow, will we?
Yeah, it should be tomorrow.
Yeah, I think so.
Right, let's go into predictions. Let's start where it really matters. Huddersfield versus Castleford. It's on Thursday.
Oh,
I'm sure people will be putting that on Sky Sports Plus rather than watching Wigan Salford.
Sexy Tex match winner.
I'm going with you. I'm going Cass.
Cass to win.
Yeah, I'm going to go Cass.
And that will put Cass.
You've really gone off Huddersfield.
Well, you can't back it. Like you said, Matty, I think that one win for Luke Robinson is then done.
Yeah.
See, that
and the
be
home record is absolutely atrocious.
You know, that's not enough though to get Cass above Huddersfield.
Huddersfield will still finish in
9th.
9th place.
Yeah. And there would be 10 points between 8th and 9th. That's poor.
But that's where we are though, isn't it, with that bottom four?
Right.
If those middle eights. You know.
Here's one for you. Another 50-50. Warrington, London.
Warrington or London?
I'll go Warrington.
I'll go Warrington only by 40.
Oh, I'm going Warrington by 30.
Do you want to give a score now?
Go on, you might as well.
Oh.
What did you go? 40, you went 30.
Go on, go for golden point.
No, I'll go Warrington by, we'll go 60.
Warrington by 46.
I've just spotted something, sorry, I'm going to mention this before we move on. Because we're going to go on to the league game here. Hull FC Catalans. No wonder Derek's going after Hull FC to try and make them put a performance in against Catalan. Because they could sneak in.
Catalan,
if Lee lose, Catalan beating Hull FC would overturn them. So he needs Hull FC to play.
Oh, really?
He needs Hull FC to beat Catalans.
I thought Catalan were done. They've got a chance.
They've got a chance.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Leah in 6th on 29 points. Catalan are in 8th on 28 points.
Oh, yeah?
So Catalan, if Lee win...
So Leeds are out. Leeds are out, but Lee needs to win to stop Catalans getting in, are you saying?
If Catalans lose and Lee lose, Leeds could still get in, but they would have to beat UK.
Catalan aren't losing.
No.
I'm back on it. Catalan are back in. I was wrong to...
I think and this goes into our next.
This
prediction.
game is also the last game of the weekend. Is it the last game of the weekend? It's on a Saturday.
Yeah.
By itself.
So at that point, Catalans might already be out of it.
They might already be out.
Yeah. Catalans will know what they need, which is a bit unfair, really.
Catalan might be out.
Catalans might already be on Monday.
They might still have a chance, though. If they've got a chance, they'll play well.
Yeah. Lee host St Helens.
Oh, it's a tough game, this one. This is tough to call.
I'm going to be honest, I'm going to go Lee, and I thought they ran out of a little bit of steam here. I think they're going to find the reserve
Do you reckon?
and then run out in the playoffs.
I think they might be done.
I think they're going to throw everything at this.
I'll go with Saints. But not confidently.
I'm going to go Saints just with the people they've got back.
Yeah.
I think they're getting numbers back, they're getting back to a full squad. I'm going to go Saints.
So that would mean...
Well, should we do the rest of the predictions, then we can just throw it in.
Is that not it? No.
Hull KR Leeds, so we all going Hull KR?
Hull KR.
And we're all going Catalans to beat Hull FC.
Yes. So that would mean that Salford would travel to St Helens and Catalan would travel to Warrington.
Yeah, Lee would miss
Wow,
out.
Lee would miss out then.
Saints, if I'm back in Saints,
If Lee were
out.
to miss out, would that be a disappointment for him?
Um,
Because I think that's still a phenomenal effort considering where they
they've had
started.
a rough year with injuries, haven't they? And they've had a tough...
And to get top six.
Think
and then seven.
think about the teams they've had loot fixtures against. I know I'm not going to bang on that drum again, but they've had loot fixtures against Wigan, Catalan, Salford.
Did they go to Catalan twice?
Only once. They've had Salford 3 times. They've had Huddersfield 3 times. Wigan, Catalan.
Salford at Salford twice.
So they've not played Hull Holland. You know, they've missed out on those extra games that the teams
Which
around
could have
them
been 4
played.
points.
Which would have been 4. It would have been 4 points. Be honest with yourself, it would have been 4 points.
They've been quite confidently.
That other teams have had around them.
Yeah.
That's why it's not fair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not affected us because we've won all our loop fixtures.
Yeah.
But it's not fair for Lee.
No. It certainly affects the teams in the middle more.
Yeah. Obviously, Catalan have had the same thing.
Yeah. Right, I think that wraps it up, lads.
Yeah.
Been another good episode, and I hope we're tuning in next Monday, ready for a week off of rugby. Sat with another trophy in the cabinet.
We'll still have all 4, hopefully.
We'll still have all 4.
That's the problem with having all 4 is you can only lose them. You can't actually gain any more.
I don't want it to be like that, mate.
You can't gain any more trophies. We can just carry on winning them. We can carry on
I'm
keeping them.
considering we've handed it back to Super League.
Okay, we've got to win it again.
We've got to win it again.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And thank you for listening.
Yep.
It's been another good episode, and we'll see you next week.
See you next
See you
week.
soon.